Normal kenyam ke nas dial kontin barwani linguaseme ke Nuer online TV channel anda mandu nishan kosnyak melanong ruasni guasme ban ruache ketin kontin lat karodian rewi ke South Sudan dioje chikono walung chana keling ke ken konin dang rodutini bana men chitwo kimela rode ban diling guaseme burani kon ke kwi kore kon lat karodian ken report kontin goro baling amani lere kona chala kum kirmi yadit kata dan lat kene jeno de ken werde ken ketuk no ki de ken kanak bikon full report bana jekka jen report mani an walle de remanya no shanka jandang ro bakel kapaikel ronkina dangro jandang ro bakel so shanga me balash jen shanga dan bukon titi bana kelinga je ko ai kono no tidial lat ko rodiana tamra wi ka South Sudan ka wek ngwanu kan jegalong ka duomi dong chien do badana dong de wek ja but kon woro kono ko atelim lare ka ban jelinga je report mani learning ambana kwen gwasame chana rache ke kum SPLIO take order Michigan laniam an order me bala order danen nunu chol kendi ni kendi alano de korde jakabre week juba but before that I can conway ka order dan chicken yorping kan yukum tin raike kirme yadit gore jono bakon lat rajanyam men chalat kumedian ki kum SPLA la men raike kim yadi da la dine SPDF ban manan jikalat gwaza bana jelinkel ka tada na chetoka ja are rajame ala South Sudan military take issue Michigan alat no chicken alat no de nas de Korean wo gwata dan ente dine SPLIO tegaten no kador kon ken galat kador kon nuerten bana jelinkel ka jari podmene Rewiki Jonglei State ke repodana shanung SSPDF spokesperson would shall ke kiangai kondiale malaroni siang la lure kong gente ke order michetu pe jenene a jene gore jeno bane diala kontila civilian ba ke evacuate rewicha ka Jonglei kan ji humanitarian ne de kondinte gwaddan tinteji SPLIO tigatin kan gore jeno de ke evacuate ko kanatakan cooperation menang kare wishin winemi ka chanya dangra wudi diech no ka jan pae me la paikel chang ka jan dangra wudi paikel ronki naro jan dangra wudi diech kuluro e kong charwat ramdan la spokesperson ko kume SPDF la South Sudan People Defense Force jero luro e kong chela wone ne jane chine order chine tubuno ne gone no bane diala content ka law Nuer counties kenyirol uror ka kobo gone no kan dial baki ba kwet ke bugrodin wo gone content chilure kong chararo ne she tan jandang wani badak chekungun tan jandang wani badak jan chek top ko ram mamu kan chai ba kwet ka kan dor Nuer titi ko ba kanti ki nyurol uror ken gwadialati mu kan chai ba kwet chajelet ken shwane label no ka joran kan la ken all these three counties kan counties tin konen cha control ko mes pelayo kan gor kan ode na de kien ko kan gor kan obi ka bok rewishin winimi so man yamba na ngajene kuma SPLIO kan kantin to tin keba ka bom chenge dana chi kormeje to ko je me chi kuma SPDF kan gujino de kan lo no lande kan control kelio mukula ta ka kore dana cha ga juitina ka got kan all the bara kan te konde te SPDF tente kan gujino de kan ji SPLIO de kan ka juitin ayu ne ka ana yu pot chi wona gwadam te tin tam ka Jonglei ke bor ka jeri podeme ka tada na chalat ke je no ne diala kono gorke face by president dor dana tin wote tin ka kan dor no dang joka ko bukanti nyirol ke uror gore je kan dial biga dil jen wenmo kuma kim yadi te ka campaign melade en campaign mo a campaign ko ba nuere ba kanak en ram la ran SPLIO ki dich ken bikan ganak alo jogane dialti wojarudun tigari pon me chala do ken gor kan ode ken chemical weapon de ken use ken de SSPD ngai kon dial mana lat ke ken chimera ni kan lat ka nasser chikon en boka fanga, so they are trying to create another auto cities de kan ade ken naga ke genocide bo in another way and ande nanga je ko jandana gor ken it kontila de SSPD dia chikon dia me chalat Johnson lo right now cha nyom lat ke je nyok jan wud shal ka me lure kong ano bikan kanak gwaza minimum bana kula ngache enforce ti ki de te pinkir me yadi de order ya kam ya jugo no wia ala this president self-came yadi support ya jugo no wia all the control area tin cha control SPLIO bia ko kepkake kaken force ni nying SPLIO ne ramdana ku control en atenelu yetchere ngai kondi ala ramdana la election acting chairman tamaka commandership and on shirme ngai wal right now ke order cha several SSPD barak garrison ni dial cha ka kep de ni SPLIO chairman ngai kone ne me order mi cha tab ko zen kire jena gor jeno dere SPLIO dere jabat ajen ta dana tiketin baname kananok kume amraike anatanelo yet kwada ti document chartere ti gen SSPDF gorkana longono de kan doro mo de kan ka gwada kona cha kepkaka gorkana de kan control shermen cha link ko gwada dan alapa jucha ja kef kume SPLIO when abaka poked up lo kap ko jamone, so right now government take a poked up la government don't care me yadi take a poked up can a padit in do county kan go the corner ticketing chimada ngai corner lapa jut kan dorti tiak long lo chikane chike wi nanan ke wi tiak kan ka jandor shalkamo a poked up kan jen padit kan dia tie kan ka pajut just a few kilometers bechub chinemesia ngai ne pan kari por sha nong pan tiang kor ke pan kor buretin kam SSPDF kana kume SPLIO kataya dan e chikor che to ye chemanda ngai kondiale. We know that kume kirim yadi chori alaka no be SPLIO bajadil but right now they are resistant German chaling she SPLIO choro nyom kor mobilize chori alaka lungo bikan korme bikaneter katadan en chalat keje chemanda ngai konen wo kanedialati letken tishurian lo de kon yelar no de muchi kume kirim yadi choro che to no agent ikone dial jugo no by evacuation bajala, which mean that they are preparing ko big na bikan connect ngai konde alen wona me obvious la to no chicken ade pel ko gan jang la kan ala chicken lat ke 2013 by the way chicken lat book 2016 right now they did it in 2025 and time to on 2026, which mean that they are about to commit a crime, a serious crime kan the SSPDF, which is unacceptable ka jodan shaling ka je ko te gane ti writing kan kono nyam gwasme ka tungnat go jana beje kunya ka tok English ko biya te kan kuma le rode beje kunen full bana kula we gati koken dom mi jiram dong goro de jeleng buchu stay kam dom mi jiram dong goro de mandana to nyam de lip okay ka bi lip men mi china me je tok ke report sha non gwasme benyo ga yekelana chata no evacuate now army tell civilian in low Nuer areas jo kan ne content ka low Nuer areas no wojero duna tama jen banling on ka tok English. South Sudan military has issued a second and more explicit evacuation order for civilians living in a position area of Jonglei State, warning that large-scale military operation is imminent. In a directive dated January 25, designed by South Sudan People Defense Force (SSPDF), a spokesperson Major General Lure Kong, the army ordered civilian in Low Nuer counties of Nurol, Uror, Akobo to evacuate for safety reasons, for safety to government-controlled areas within 48 hours. So they have given those Nuer who live in Nurol, Uror, and Akobo 48 hours to evacuate, and also tell humanitarian as well. Failing to do so will lead to a bombardment by the government of Kir Mayadi. Well, the three counties are controlled by the opposition, Sudan People Liberation Army in opposition, which is SPLIO, detained first by President Dr. Riek Machar. The order warned that a military campaign dubbed Operation Enduring Peace, that is the military court, Operation Enduring Peace, would begin imminently. Fighting between forces loyal to President Salva Kiir and the SPLIO, now commanded by Machar Deputy Oyet Nathaniel, or Deputy Oyet Nathaniel, has intensified since December 2025, particularly in northern Jonglei. The SPLIO seized several SSPDF positions, capturing garrison in Wat, Ui, and Pajut. The army has since mobilized additional troops and advanced northward in an effort to retake the areas. Most government forces are now stationed in Poktap and Padiet in Duke County. This is where SSPDF are stationed, a few kilometers away from Pajut, where SPLIO front line are located. Let's look at the latest directive. The latest directive marked the second evacuation order issued in less than a month. A broader order on December 30, 2025 urged civilians to leave SPLIO hill areas to avoid minimize collateral damage. Following that order, several locations were struck by air attack, including Lankan Town in Ural County, where at least 11 people were killed, according to local officials. These people were killed by SSPDF. The new order goes further, issuing explicit warning to the army, civilian, and humanitarian organization. Civilians carrying weapons who do not intend to fight government force were instructed to surrender their firearm at the nearest SSPDF garrison. It warned that armed civilian found near SPLIO facility would be considered legitimate military target. The directive also called on youth not affiliated with the Y Army, a loosely organized Nuer militia that has played a central role in previous conflict, to move their families and livestock out of the affected areas. Non-governmental organizations were given 48 hours to leave the three counties. Analysts say the increasingly urgent language, the naming of the operation, and the unprecedented ultimatum to 8 agencies and civilians in the three counties pointed to preparation for a major government offensive. The evacuation order came amid growing alarm over inflammatory rhetoric by senior military commanders deployed to the front line in northern Jonglei State. A day earlier, General Johnson Olun, Assistant Chief of Defense Force for Mobilization and Disarmament and commander of the Agwilling Militia, told his fighter in Jonglei to show no mercy during upcoming operation. When we arrived, there don't spare an elderly, don't spare chicken, don't spare hours or anything. Olun say we are tired of problem every year until we have gotten all in the problem. He framed the deployment of the army to northern Jonglei State as a patriotic duty rather than a financial one, telling troops they were defending the nation, not fighting for salaries. The Agwilling militia, which has been partially integrated into the national army, has recently been deployed to several strategic locations, including near the Hegelig oil field on the Sudanese border, following a tripartite agreement between South Sudan and rival Sudanese faction to protect oil infrastructure. Olun was appointed to his current post by President Salva Kiir in January 2025, despite a history marked by defection and allegation of human rights abuses. South Sudan Greater Upper Nile region, encompassing Jonglei, Upper Nile, and Unity State, has long been the epicenter of ethnically driven violence, with civilians, particularly women and children, frequently bearing the brunt of military campaign. UNMIS said it was gravely concerned by the report of General Olun urging troops to carry out indiscriminated violence against Nuer civilians in northern Jonglei, where more than 180,000 Nuer people have reportedly been displaced by recent fighting when the SSPDF attacked them and bombed them using gunship. Inflammatory rhetoric calling for violence against Nuer civilians, including the most vulnerable, is utterly abhorrent and must stop now, say Graham Maitland, the mission officer in charge, urging leaders to all hostilities and uphold the 2018 peace agreement. The UN Commission on the Human Rights in South Sudan also warned that such language by senior military by military officials combined with fresh troop mobilization risk triggering mass atrocities and ethnic violence in South Sudan. Political analysts say the military build-up come as South Sudan prepare for election scheduled for December 2026 amid a deep economic crisis and a peace process that international monitor described as severely weakened. Boboya James Edmond, head of the Institute of Policy and Research, warned that fear of an SPLIO advance toward Juba could trigger a broader confrontation. If the fighting intensified, political priorities will shift from reform and civic process back to survival and military calculation, he said. A human rights activist, Termanyang Gadwich, cautioned that commanders from both sides could be held individually accountable for abuse committed by forces under their control. Observers warned that forces withdrawal of aid agencies from part of Jonglei could leave civilians trapped without protection or assistance in an area already devastated by food insecurity, flooding, and displacement. Michelle Ngwasame katin kona lat korodi re kuma katama re kuma kirma yadi cherma ngai kone mu right kon katin kon lat korodi de kon jigano en kirma yadi chemal che go cherma Michelle Ngwasame te ngwa long te chewe jek odor kon cha top chere odor ya top chala no de ne diale urin we ka ko bo ko uror we ka wi diale ko ken ten kon ya control kuma spela yo nyo deno there's something coming me bigana bikin ga naga je kanetin kontin laji tila ji kume so te ko dor mi cha to gwad me ben nyoga yikel bo me de kon diala linki do brande kon linga je go ka ta dana chalat ke je. It's very important message me ben nyoga yikel bone and message me e kume no ki dung dakama char kan take order gwad me ne chana ile gwad me. The SPLMIO has issued what is described as a financial, described as a final directive ordering its Division 10 position, source of Juba, and Division 12 to advance toward the capital, according to a statement circulating on Sunday. In the same message, the opposition movement called on all its force and affiliated group to mobilize immediately. The statement also appealed to SSPDF soldiers, alleging fatigue, non-payment of salaries, and lack of support for their families, and urged them to lay down their weapon and defect to the SPLM-IO. Additionally, the SPLM-IO said it had instructed SPLM, SPLA, and NAS force in eastern Equatoria and in the Makwi County particularly to shut down Numili Juba Highway with immediate effect. The group warned NGOs and international organizations to avoid to travel along the Numili Juba route and advised them to remain within Juba. There was no immediate response from SSPDF or the government at the same time of publication. Well, this is the message that I have for you. Tishi are shagan en kum kir mayadi tungai kon yalo do dana chetu kan manana pai tu kume men right dakre machar nyu de no there is something mlero de long me bitwo ko gwasen be so me right kon long no ngut lero mo re ka so Sudan bana jigano ala kume kir mayadi checha gore no te mal medeb. That is why nen kon tama che fon del che ko do na we ka jongle Jongle jen the main place mandong ba wogang ni kume kirmi yadit ko jen do badan we rewi ki Juba. So mugur kirmi yadit no china abichu men belele jen no be force kele be nanga jongle anoko be ne te kontla SPLIO bako ta ko chicken bor chicken be kab jen ta dan let kirmi yadide chitin me shaling pan kor budetin dor shalka yut kache te ko kor ngwane are ladba right now min tin one yes PLIO carry the anytime in obaro din defend by any means chirmana ngai ken men gor ken kos ajan dan le road by the way kon kuma kirm yadi chikan la to kono cha tan mu chale kuma SPLIO mo gor ken ajan nan yana tama to ko tin ko kuma SPLIO chikan haje no cha ko gor cha ko nok ekir. So what remain men chire men yo ba kir ba je dil goch ka kuma ajan ta dan len ngaro din ge tan din mi chire men yata right now as we are speaking so na me amela road ma jowlen kono gwasme ci kuma SPLA yo ci kando ci kana lat you can all their forces nere kon into Eastern Equatoria nere kontin te ka Western Equatoria especially nere bonchal kenas ka en bonchal SPLM kana bondi ala ko kendin te dor wena ka bondi ala cholo rodi no ka ji opposition all right ram mo laro ta dor ke ran opposition chaga chaodor chatu buno yen wiare wiki juba gwasme SPLA won tere wiki jongle buku direct to bor nan direct to juba ne ti yene de ala kono de jawa wiki juba ka jawadan salat wa bika we bikan kurma bikan auto so na me mele road right now ka miritin mi banaling ka gwasen be so kore panelet ke report shanong report mugwa wa ci SSPDF ci kan ci garoden bar ke chaga joj ko ke diga nono de kan we de ka chodre we ka yut wa ne ka chobdi rewe ka yut chaga rotin chaga majamen torbiyel ken ko torbiyel ken ko ne widin ka match chaga captain ka chaga nyom joje karar so right now ngode kormo jatin memrai kono tama so kuma SPLA kan keredi mission den we nere which ka juba so na me jana na gore de report kenyam bana kula we ka report den ka lerdo den dan buben ani chui pero jeno den bi real bi ga nyaga ne ko ken piatemal